Hello and welcome once again everyone. In today's video we're going to take a closer look at the brand new Tier 8 heavy Russian cruiser, Tallinn. Before jumping into the video, I have a few quick announcements. You can now also find me on Twitch. You can see here the link on screen with additional links at the end of the video and also in the description below. In conjunction with the release of the heavy Russian cruiser line, I have a free giveaway for all channel subscribers to enter. First prize will be the Tier 8 Premium Ochakov, a really fun, powerful ship. I covered it recently in a video. You can see the link here in the top right corner. And I have two additional prizes for two runner-ups of CC containers and some other codes including Soviet containers. All you have to do to enter this giveaway is be an active subscriber to the channel and leave your in-game name and the server you play on in the comments section in the format you see on screen. Feel free to hit that like button and share it with your friends. It really helps me out a lot, so thank you in advance. Stick around because I'll have something else to announce later in the video, which I'm sure you will also be interested in. The Tallinn is now available on the live server in early access and is proving to be quite a powerful addition to the Russian tech tree line of heavy cruisers. I've been playing around with multiple builds for the last while and have finally settled on a straight up fire build, and that's not using IFHE. I must add at this point that the Tallinn feels very balanced in this respect. In the testing I carried out over roughly 30 games, the results were almost identical for both the IFHE build and the build I'm using in this game, and what you can now see on screen. When playing the true cruiser role, combating enemy destroyers and cruisers, the straight up fire build is the most effective, while the IFHE build, while more effective against battleships, is less so against the other ship classes. Tallinn is designed to fight enemy destroyers and cruisers, and I must admit she performs this role quite admirably. Tallinn comes armed with 12 180mm guns in a 4x3 turret layout, equally divided with 2 fore and 2 aft. These turrets have a 180-degree rotation time of just over 20 seconds when using the expert marksman skill, a max firing range of 17.7 kilometers, and a reload time of 13.5 seconds. What instantly stands out about Tallinn's main armament is the armor piercing. These AP rounds have a max damage of 4650, not the highest at Tier 8, that title goes to the Baltimore, but it does have a higher gun caliber. It's not the damage however, but it's the increased penetration values that really make these guns shine. The ability to consistently punish broadside or slightly angled targets is a real strength of Tallinn. And one should take great care not to expose broadside, especially when fighting her as an opponent, as she is not to be underestimated. And just quickly complimenting our carrier, he did a good job of spotting that destroyer, allowing me to finish him off with high explosive. Tallinn's high explosive rounds with this fire build are also quite effective. You can max out the fire chance to 15% using Demolition Expert and both signal flags, which is about average for this tier, allowing you to start fires on angled targets and more heavily armoured battleships. But of course this is all RNG dependent. Do expect a lot of shattered shells when shooting battleships however, as these high explosive rounds are only capable of penetrating 30mm of armour plating. It's a trade-off you get when not going the IFHE route. I prefer to go the way of being more effective against cruisers and destroyers, as the increased fire chance will make you a much stronger opponent when faced against these classes. When it comes to consumables, Tallinn gets access to the radar consumable, but it has very short duration radar of only 15 seconds. Now, many may tell you to use their surveillance radar mod from the armory in slot 2 to increase this duration to 18 seconds. But I tend to disagree, and let me explain why. The downside to having such a short radar time of 15 seconds and a reload time of 13.5 seconds is basically you can only get one volley off on a detected target. By trial and error, I've learned to be more discretionary with radar use and try and keep it for smoked up targets. To close the distance and be already zoomed in on the target's location. Activate radar, fire instantly, and still reload in time before your radar ends to get that second volley off on the still locked target. Now, of course, this will not help you for destroyers in the open, but the trade-off for a few extra seconds of radar over the course of a game is simply not worth it, compared to using damage control mod 1 in slot 2. Tallinn is not a small ship, and will take lots of hits from enemy cruisers over the course of a game, and tends to burn like dried out wood covered in kerosene. I've lost count of the number of times I've taken double and triple fires in single salvos from enemy cruisers and even destroyers, so I strongly suggest using damage con 1 to help mitigate and reduce the fire chance of incoming shells. It won't stop you catching fire, but will greatly help in your long-term survivability over the course of the game. I would even go as far as mounting the India Yankee signal flag to also reduce the burn time by 20% for some extra mitigation. One of the driving factors behind being so cautious with your hit points is the fact Tallinn gets no repair party. The starting 45k hit points is all you get, and looks can really be quite deceiving here. You're probably thinking 45,000 HP is a lot for a tier 8 cruiser, and it really is at the top end compared to most of the competition, but it's this vulnerability to fire that has caught my attention over the span of games I've been playing it so far. Tallinn is also lightly armoured for a so-called heavy cruiser, with a standard 25mm on its upper bow, upper main belt and upper aft sections, with just 80mm of citadel protection. So you will want to remain well angled at all times to keep this citadel protected. This is aided, however, by having a 40mm lower bow protection or icebreaker bow, and when kiting away, the lower aft end belt is protected by 70mm of armour. The main deck has 27mm of protection, while the superstructure has the standard 13mm. The Tallinn's turrets are very prone to getting knocked out, having just a max protection of only 80mm, so preventive maintenance is an absolute must-have skill to help maintain these turrets operational as much as possible. Tallinn's torpedo belt only provides a meagre 7% damage reduction, but you do have the consumable choice between hydroacoustic search and defensive fire. In this game I just happened to have defensive fire fitted, as I was simply getting CV game after CV game. I'm sure you all know how that feels these days, but hydro is a very valid option, especially if you want to get extra aggressive during games. For those moments when you just want to go ham and test out the limits of this icebreaker bow to get some up close and personal action, Tallinn comes armed with some very dangerous torpedoes. They may only have a max range of 4 kilometers, but with 65 knots of speed and capable of inflicting a max damage of almost 18,000, with 2 X5 launchers, one on each side, Tallinn is capable of dealing a knockout blow, even to high-tier battleships. Whether you can survive these close-range torp rushes is a whole other matter, But when push comes to shove, Tallinn is capable of taking opponents to the bottom with her. I've already mentioned I was enduring a particularly long run of CV games at this point, and combined with the defensive fire consumable, Tallinn can be quite a bit of a pain for enemy carriers. With an AA defense rating of 80 and a max firing range of 5.8 kilometers, Tallinn is a decent AA platform, in particular when you team up close with another cruiser. A carrier will then have a lot of trouble getting off successful attacks on you, without losing a lot or all his planes. I did find it rather unusual the enemy carrier left me completely in peace during this game, despite holding a central position for the majority of this match. As I mentioned earlier, Tallinn is quite the large cruiser, and that is reflected in both her turning circle of 900 meters and a rudder shift time of 8.7 seconds, and that is using the steering gears mod. So the words sluggish kind of spring to mind, and one of the reasons she will take so many hits during a game. She gets a max base speed of 33.1 knots, which can be boosted to almost 35 knots with the Sierra Mike signal flag, but still lacks that maneuverability to be really good at dodging incoming fire. Shrewd usage of both island cover and the WASD keys will go a long way to ensuring Tallinn sticks around until the fight is done. With a concealment rating of 58 with a full stealth build, you can get Tallinn's detection range down to 11.2 kilometers for other surface ships and 7.1 kilometers from the air, so you're not exactly what you would consider stealthy. So you will have to be very careful, especially early on in games, with your range positioning. You will still get outspotted by the vast majority of cruisers in the game, but having that 12-kilometer radar will balance this out, as the moment you get detected, anything spotting you will be well inside your radar range by 800 meters, allowing you to spot and counter whatever threat that may be. All in all, my experience so far of the Tallinn has been quite good. It's a fun ship to play, it feels well balanced and quite strong in most circumstances. I hope you've enjoyed the video and have learned something along the lines of playstyle or how to set up your captain in the process. So, more giveaway news, coming as soon as the Ochakov giveaway ends, and this time it's for the Piotr Bagration. So make sure to subscribe to the channel and enable notifications by clicking the bell icon below, so you don't miss out on a chance to win this free premium and more upcoming goodies. I'd like to thank you once again all for watching. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe for more. Take a moment to check out some of my most recent videos and leave a comment below. And until the next time, keep sailing it like you stole it.